In opposition to the Loyalists stands a growing movement of imperialists, who consider the primogenic crown the true authority of Taldor, while the Senate and nobility exists only to carry out the Emperor's will. This desperate group shares its firm belief that Taldor's greatness was once rooted in old traditions, and embracing new ideas would cost Taldor its might. Their most extreme members insist that no middle ground may exist. Either Taldor must reconquer the former colonies like Galt and Andorian, or the Empire is doomed to crumble away into nothing.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Dice Before Dishonor. When last we left our heroes, well, there's been a lot of schmoozing for several episodes, and it is necessary. I mean, we do have a 6-book campaign with a lot of spycraft, a lot of schmoozing, a lot of nobility, and the people they meet, the movers, the shakers, the events, not only preps them for this world, but these people come into play, and if they affect them positively, negatively, or just find out where they stand, it gives you a little depth. So you really can't look at this as sort of a one Mission Impossible movie. You have to look at this more like a book series where they're setting up characters. It has taken a while, but the War for the Crown series is written differently. It is supposed to introduce sort of a spycraft aspect, a diplomacy, a social combat aspect that's a little crunchier and chewier than your regular diplomacy. Yep, he loves you. But trust me, the official book of intrigue is way more complicated than the scaled-down version that we've been using here. But they're not doing badly, and for our trope of several Cavaliers and a Fly Samurai, oh wait a minute, where'd the Fly Samurai go? It occurs to us. Have you ever had a game, ladies and gentlemen, where a character comes to you with a backstory, and they're looking at something, they pull something out of a core rule book, or they're going, ooh, I like this city, I like this thing, I like this faction, I want to be a part of them. Maybe it's a prestige class, maybe not. And you go, sure. And then you read an adventure that involves that faction or name or family. And I don't say there's a script, but there's a very dominant way that this family would protect their own, go about something. And if you're joined to them, you might pass go and go to jail. Or you might pass going to jail and circle the Monopoly board and go pass go for free and get you $200. And this is sort of a shakedown that we've done with Leon just because he's a Vinmark. However, I don't like just exiting stage left. I think a player should have every right to possibly, as they say in the book, why don't you see what that player's doing? Why don't you spend a separate session with that player and see how it goes? Well, we do that. We have something called Echoes of Honor, which is coming back, Dice Before Dishonor, to deal with Leon in his absence, and possibly even our wayward Sir Bartholomew. But tonight, we're in the Senate, and the clock is ticking. Because by this time, I'm sure a lot of you know what's coming up. We don't want to spoil it for those that don't, but we're running out of dinners. We're running out of nobles. And I believe you guys were in the middle of speaking with one Baron O'Cara, a mountain of a man, letter of the law. And I believe you guys were discussing how he remembers Fafal. Doesn't know Lord Gildevarth, who's usually our golden boy, but remembers his man, assuming that the sylph, not being human, is this manservant or something, plays the part well. And he was talking about, I was at a party, there was Lady Guerrilla Morana, who runs Pathfinder, not that openly, but something about alchemy. So the scene descends once more, the same long, endless night of the gala at the Senate. They have schmoozed, they have moved room to room, they have completed just about every spy mission that Lady Lothide, who's up in the gallery, has given them. And they're winding down, finding their last few marks and targets. And if you've ever seen a decent setup in a spy movie, they have that social setting, and then they're getting down to a crunch. And this is what I believe they're going to get to tonight. So, Frank Hamilton in the house, playing Lord Gildevarth.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm still playing Lord Gildevarth. We're doing great, though.
You know him as a brooding Jedi in our Star Wars We Shot First podcast, but here, he is a delight. He's the man. He is the fun guy in the party playing the Sylph Rogue, or, well, you were a Slayer in Mummy's Mask, but if you guys listen to How to Skin a Cat, or More Than One Way to Skin a Cat, Episode 5, Fafal decided to skip town. This is 2 years later. 4715 is Mummy's Mask. 4717, there's a gap between you getting cursed by a druid for killing her cougar, a chosen of Beset, skipping town. As long as your feet touch the sand, you have been hunted, ending up in land of Persia, Kadira, wiggling your way out of a boat, getting saved by Lord Varth, being set up with allowance, sent upon your way, never to be seen again, and now you turn up at this party? Working for who? Well, Varth took you under his wing. Who do you really work for? Do you have your own objectives? Here's something that we need to explore in possibly a future cutscene. Mr. Aidan Willems tonight, playing our ever-delightful and schmoozy Fafal.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you, Jeff, for having me. It's such a nice night tonight.
Man who needs no personal introduction, a close personal friend of mine, and a little bit of comedy relief going from leading a party to being the party support, and definitely a fan favorite in this particular podcast. And now, if you check our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GM's Cut, you will find us raw, uncut, maybe some music thrown in, doing this stuff live. And it'll end up on our YouTube. Now, if you can only have access to the audio, we thank you for listening. But if you actually want to see what's going down and get to see some of the maps or whatever, by all means, check out our Twitch TV/GM's Cut on alternate Friday nights and the odd Sunday afternoon to get the skinny raw first. Mr. Matt Witt is in the house.
Hello, everybody.
Triggerman tonight watching our Twitch feed and playing an NPC right out of the book, which he's fleshed out a little bit more and doing a great job staying close to the original concept of the character. Mr. Rob Hammond is with us tonight, playing his cameo role as an NPC, Juan Zabari, the cleric of Adabar from the Mwagi Expanse.
Good evening, everyone.
And finishing her debut, no, she's still around. I mean, somebody's got to watch over this cleric, playing a new Cavalier, because we seem to be shedding them like water. I mean, we just lost our Samurai temporarily. We just lost Bartholomew. We don't want to replace these people with just rogues and clerics. We got to keep the Cavalier count higher than the every other kind of class member in the party higher. So, agreeing to play a Southern Belle of a Order of the Star Cavalier that look after clerics, and Azamar, holier than thou. No, she's a nice, really nice person, playing Juliana, Giovanni. Sorry? Julissa.
That's right.
I was the only one that forgot. I was just waiting for you to cut me off and just digging a hole here. Cheryl Ball is with us tonight.
Hello, everyone.
So, let's get to it. With the ambient music playing of the Royal Salon, thanks to tabletopaudio.com. Us going it alone, thank you to our new sponsor, Devon Knight, because I just love these top-down minis. Way cooler looking at the top of a knight's head, seeing sword in hand, and the position, the stance, as it were, as you spin them around, as opposed to just a close-up cameo of a pog head floating around your board. Shout out to Devon Knight, our new sponsor. Gentlemen, three of you, Fafal, Winston, Lord Gildevarth, have crowded around Baron Nicholas O'Cara, towering over all of you, a big bear of a man, and he was literally glad-handing Lord Gildevarth, talking about his man Fafal. What do you do?
Well, if I remember last time, I think we were talking to him, trying to test the waters on the whole primogeniture thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was a little uncertain, and I was trying to play on his, if the nobility falls in line, then they too can lead by example line. So I'm going to continue with that to see if I can get him to kind of see the light, so to speak.
Okay. So I believe you were sensing that a man who's a letter of the law was worried that it's not the fact that there is change, it's the impact of sudden change from tradition, that sort of fallout that destabilizes the law and the system. That is his concern. I don't think he's like anti primogeniture being busted or changing up. I think he's wise enough. You're getting that's, and if not, I've just let go of a big spoiler.
That was kind of the play that I got. He was uncertain as to whether or not to approve it, but his main concern was the chaos that it would create. And so I'm trying to steer him in that if the nobility falls in line, they can minimize the chaos. So I'm trying to get him on board to primogeniture to help steer the wagon.
Right. Now, knowledge and ability came out of you and Fafal and some sense motive to get that information. Now you're trying to influence them. Can I have... Well, there's your usual. There's bluff diplomacy. It's what you said. If you're talking about what's going to happen to us here in the city, what skill would you call that under? Because I really shouldn't just sort of point out the skills you need. If you're talking about, what affects us here.
I mean, well, I'd still be trying to use diplomacy. That's kind of my go-to skill.
Yeah.
And in the war with words kind of thing, I'm just trying to, strong arm him, albeit gently, into seeing, what I consider is to be the right way.
Now, did we lead with diplomacy last time? Did you not already have one successful check?
We did,
this guy? Yeah, okay. Because I'm not sure if you can just keep banging away. So what about you, Fafal? He is kind of, the Baron has brought you in delightfully. He doesn't seem prejudiced at all. He's like, I know you. He's not like, I know that blue guy. The guy just seems... if anything, he's not prejudiced, but he seems to be walking on eggshells. He talks to you like, he's overly aware that you're not human and tries to compensate. Not that, and either that type of thing. It's charming and adorable, and it's like in a way kind of racist, but
he's at least trying to be gentle about it. Like he isn't saying you damn dirty sylph, but also the fact that he remembers me from the previous party and he wants me to recreate a drink that I had made previously, which is where we had ended last time.
Right. So if you could, great, but likely you could go over to a bar, shake down a servant. Mike's always around, that wonderful halfling, do a bunch of mixing, but then you'd be leaving your guy. That's up to you. You know what I mean? If you just want to lean in and talk about a recipe, or like I said, you as a character, even though you're Gildevar's second, as a player, you're still on par with Frank. You can go about this your own way with your own knowledge checks, your own bluff or whatever, if you want to just help.
Well, so I'll be thinking for a second. And you know what, Baron O'Cara, while I'm trying to remember exactly what I put in that drink, how about we discuss this a bit further from the aspect of how this would affect the people in Opara, ourselves, and the I don't want to say lower classes, but the other classes, the various people, from the farmers to the nobles, to even the Grand Prince and possible future princess. And so with that, I will toss a knowledge local at him.
Okay.
Ooh. All right, I got a 19 for a total of 26 on knowledge local to try and influence him.
Okay. Well, he kind of growls a bit and looks like sounds like he's mulling something over, like, can't disagree, but well, you make a fair point, and not that it behooves him to like give in to the point or whatever, but the rest of your conversations, he just sort of switches over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
While the cleric is apparently robbing somebody.
What?
You're playing with dice rolls? Stop playing with your character. It's popping up on the screen. How dare you, sir? I don't want that disgusting drink in my face. Sleight of hand of 4, Rob from Zubari.
Try to... Sorry about that.
It's okay. It stands, man. It's alive. Those rolls come up. We got to come up with a story for it.
Works for me.
Yeah, we'll stick his foot in there. Now, get back. Get back, cleric NPC. We're not done. We're not ready for you yet. Anyway, sorry. Fafal. He's really at a loss to counter it, or maybe just, like I said, the whole race thing. He just seems to be struggling with, would I seem racist if I did slam this guy down with some kind of law, type of thing? So it seems to be working.
Okay.
And
either way.
Yeah, the schmooze goes on. All right.
But yeah, so schmooze a little bit more, explain my side,
Okay.
just because I am a commoner, I'm a part of the lower class. I can see how it would affect other people. And the fact is, a lot of people wouldn't really be affected by it. There wouldn't be a lot of change. It wouldn't affect most people's daily lives. But at that point, I would be like, aha, now I remember it. I know, yes. All right, I believe they actually have the drinks here in the bar. If you give me a moment, my dear Baron and my lord, please excuse me. I will go make your drinks quite quickly. And I will bow out, back up, and just haul to
head off
either find like a full open bar or go to the kitchen and start mixing a drink.
Sure. Okay. Did you want to use diplomacy or bluff to get your hands on this stuff, or say that drop Baron's name or something? It shouldn't be overly hard, but I do want some sort of manipulating skill to like talk them into getting you.
Yeah. I'll
bluff, intimidate, and diplomacy all would work in the kitchen as far as like it's just your approach.
Yeah. Let's bluff it up.
Okay.
13 plus with the Baron.
So you remember the guy guarding the table of drinks, the special stuff that was supposed to come out?
Yeah.
Right. He's still in charge of like the kitchen at large, and now those drinks, like most of the stuff with the light supper has been served. He's kind of moved into a general area, and there is your raw gin, vodka, the actual bar that you mix together and make some kind of cocktail. He sees you go right for it, and he approaches you. Excuse me, what do you think you're doing? Now he sees you're in a courtier outfit, not a servant outfit.
Yes.
Young man.
Oh, my good man. I was just actually asked by Baron O'Cara and who was it? I'm so terribly sorry. I'm forgetful with names. With a couple of the barons and baronesses to actually make them some drinks that I had made for them at a previous party. I'm a connoisseur of alcohols, if you would, and I didn't think it would be any bother as most of the drinks have already been served for supper, and so it is now just we're kind of waiting for the vote and whatnot. So. And it really does not take a lot of alcohol. It's very small but very potent.
Well, I suppose nothing can be worse than that debacle the Lothites caused earlier. Very well, but 1-2 drinks, I'll be watching you. And him and his clipboard drift away, but he just makes sure that you don't make off like with entire bottles of gin. But
of course. No, like I would make a huge show of a couple glasses, ice, like very specifically start flipping drinks, pouring.
Okay. So torturing Rob, holding Rob to that sleight of hand. Meanwhile, across the other side of the Senate, we have Judge Darist Mercian, a minor NPC that is attending, and he has kind of singled Zimbari out and is discussing the law with him. He's interested in not just Adabar law, but how does that apply in his homeland. So he's a little rude, Rob. Like, he just assumes that Moagi Expanse, the jungle, is completely uncivilized, that if they have a settlement, a village, or a city or anything there, it's a lawless place. So it's like, thank God, that Adabar's reach has, entered your country and everything. And he's kind of backhandedly insulting your people, but he's praising your God to, like, show your people a lawful approach. So at one point, I don't know if you want to try and impress him, do a coin trick, let me get that for you, whatever, something that while you're discussing something with him, you want to kind of quietly, unnoticed, sleight of hand, whether you pull out your holy symbol without him seeing to cast an Osir, check the wine again, or something subtly that you're, trying to do, which might be what?
It'd be to suddenly produce my holy symbol.
Okay.
And point out that, where I'm from, we had order first and Abadar second.
Okay. So as you go to slip this into your hand, maybe to back a spell or whatever, right? You actually drop it. It slips out of your hand and falls the whole length of your chain out the front of your robe. Now, it can't be tight on your neck. Let's assume that there is the length of chain where you can go, get back, undead, like you have that.
Pull this back up.
Yeah. Anyway, it drops forward, and you lose the grasp, and it kind of falls right into the man's drink. Right, and kind of spills, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
That was terribly unexpected.
You pull it back up. Apologize.
And because he's treating me like a savage, I'll just reach in and grab it.
Okay.
Wipe it off on his, wipe it off, and then
shake it up. Yes.
My apologies.
Oh, yeah. Even he uses the words "you" and "people" in a sentence. I won't, but he leaves, disgusted. Julissa.
Yes.
Judge Dartist Mercian, knowledge local.
Okay.
Now, success or not, whether you know or not, maybe he's a jerk and he deserves it or you don't care or whatever, the fact that you're probably likely aware that this guy is eggshelling the Moagi Expanse guy, he is, like, oh, thank God you savages have got Adabar, isn't he the best, blah, 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 just completely insulting your charge. But he's a judge. Like, it's not your place to lean in and correct this man or whatever. Anyway, as fate would have it, maybe little bumble fingers, or maybe he's just up to mischief. The cleric manages to accidentally offend the judge, and off the judge goes. This does not tarnish your reputation, and the man already has sort of put Zambari in the box as far as opinion goes, right? Now, he's not happy right now. He got drink spilled on him, and of course his opinion of the man probably goes down. But I'm curious, everybody that you see Zambari interact with, he either has a very positive effect, like he healed people, he was willing, even though he's taking money or whatever, type of thing, or they come running over, they're very interested in him, like befall and stuff, right? Or he has accidentally, or maybe on purpose, a very negative effect. There's no sort of walking in and schmoozing and like, oh, he was a nice guy, I think I remember him. He's making a strong impression, positive or negative, wherever he goes. He is a handful.
Yes.
And you're at a point of the evening where, are you fed up at this point? Do you want to get him out of here? Or are you just 2 feet back and having a good laugh at all this kind of thing? Like,
because he's looking for another target.
Well, unless he does something horrible that would affect, you're supposed to be looking after. Like if he dies on your watch, that's bad. If he does something that hurts somebody or whatever, I guess as his protector, you're also his keeper. Again, that would make your order look bad. All he's had is like little social mishaps and things. We didn't even see the comments. So I'm just curious. You haven't had a chance to do much with Jalissa except react and run around. So I'd like to get in Jalissa's head. How are you seeing this evening? How would you try to keep him or steer him or anything, like, or do you even care?
No, so far I'm rather amused, Sugar. So
I like her more and more.
Okay. So Zambari's perception check, Look, you said the next interesting person to get to know.
A 7.
Looking around, noble, senator, was it senator, sinister, also sinister? Yeah.
Has a sword, has a sword.
Yeah. How about you, Jalissa? Kind of perception check?
Yep.
Whether you want to steer him towards somebody safe that he already knows, or possibly steer him towards, the next victim. Shove, go, Zambari. This is awesome. I was so bored.
I have a +2 perception, so 8.
Okay, so you guys are literally just like, I don't want to say you're out of your element because you're a knight of the court, right? It's to the point where, because this is your element, you don't see anything new that pops up. You've seen it, you've done it, you've always been at these things. It is your archetype. So nothing interests you because there's nothing, it's boring. It's more senators.
So as I said, I'm amused.
Yeah, by him. And you don't spot anything. However, I got to say that Mr. Zambari here, looking a little out of his element, does draw the attention of somebody. And a young, like we're talking, 21 tops, red curly-haired, freckled, country-looking boy, and he is wearing a courtier's outfit, but he's very fidgety in his clothes, approaches you guys. And, he doesn't walk up and say hi. He just moves across the room, and you see him go up to someone else and talk, or, people talk to him, find out who he is, and move off, or quickly become bored. And he's just sort of, he's kind of making this tight little circle. See the actual stair, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't seem to go far from the stage. He stays within 20 feet, and he just kind of does this circuit, round and round he goes, right?
Milady, if you invited him over, he would probably fall down worse than me.
Anyway, he does spot you guys in one spot, and, seem like, I haven't talked to them yet. Sort of, tentatively approaches.
Smile.
Howdy.
Agreed.
Howdy. I like that. And I extend my hand.
He looks at it, and he very excitedly does the double hand clasp and gives you a good shake.
You are very pleased to meet Zubari, and you would be?
I'm Kaibo. My name's Kaibo of Breezy Creek. It's a pleasure and an honor, sir. My knowledge, religion. You are a man of the cloth of Adaba, the holy symbol being a big golden key around your neck that's bejeweled or whatever. Or if you have the expensive one. If you have a simple one, it could be carved wood, but you have the wooden one, the silver one, the gold one, the sapphire encrusted one, the wooden one. Okay, but the holy symbol of Adbar is this big, key, as it were, looking bejeweled. So you have this lovely, finest wood of the Moagi Expanse, the hard, what is it, ash, the dark woods of the jungle, the really mahogany, really the deep ash of the jungle, solid stuff, all engraved, that type of thing, stylized, and dips and drinks and spills and purifies them, right?
That's how you stir things.
Anyway, I'm so honored to be here, and he's just still shaking away and everything, and he looks over at you, Julissa, and kind of blushes a bit and says, "You're pretty, ma'am," and he's still shaking Zambari, and Zambari's just kind of like the guy's attached to you now. He's just rattling off his hand.
No. This is the Lady Julissa.
Okay.
I disconnect his hand.
Okay. He very, very awkwardly clicks his heels together and bows like the gentry is supposed to, and forgets to take your hand and bow over it with the fake kiss as gentry do. He suddenly gets this inspiration in his face, like, oh, I know I'm supposed to do when I meet a lady. And he steps back from Zambari, who's shoving him, right? Clicks his heels together and does this sort of awkward tip forward, and he's down there and he's kind of like forgetting what to do next. And he's kind of lifts his head up.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
So,
Stand up.
yes. I'm sorry. I'm a little out of sorts this evening, ma'am. Just kind of pulling at his collar a little bit, but
Well, I'm sure Lady Julissa will make you welcome. Zubari will go find drinks.
Oh, no, Sugar. You stay here with me.
As you wish.
Almost got away. That was pretty smooth. I was like, "Hi!" Oh, wait. So, anyway, a woman wearing armor, the fitted agile breastplate, and 2 swords, and a man in robes in his ceremonial dress and courtiered up, because you guys are supposed to be, here as a function, whether you're wearing something sacred of your people / at a bar or an actual courtier's outfit, everyone's wearing their best, right? And he's in a courtier outfit himself. So he has a hard look at you guys, and you don't think he's like just staring. It looks like he's trying to sort out who you are and your relationship to each other. So a couple of knowledge local and, geography or whatever. Anyway, he just takes it all in. There's even a point where you're waiting for him to maybe comment or ask you a question, and he just kind of, you can just see him doing the math in his head, and it's like, and that's what they're about, it's kind of, and looking around and, wonderful night, isn't it? And just making light conversation. Anyway, it becomes quickly apparent to you too why, people get bored of this kid. He's really sweet, but, not really used to the scene. Drifting across to Lord Varth. Fafal has left. Winston was just sort of patiently waiting, and then you rode off a little bit to try and track down. You went after Leon Winston.
Yes.
Right? And then you realized, the messages, and you were kind of making an open question. And Leon had said something to the Vinmark guy. Where are we going? Or type of, and you kind of got your answer that he's being taken to Lord Vinmark himself, who's not at the party. So his patron, as it were, adopt a dad or whatever, what's going on. And he was sort of shot down as in like, and this is what you're doing, and he didn't object. So you're assuming he's leaving the building. But if his family calls upon him, what are you going to do? This is the second time that family has just sort of called upon your party, and we're losing dudes. Now, that's fine. You guys are like way into your mission. Any time now, the Senate's going to convene and actually do the vote. You guys can collect up, with Lothid soon and find out what the rumors are, how you're doing. But one of your marks is somebody that you've crossed paths with, Winston. You gave a missive to Clementis that was in the archive, Leonard Clementis, the half-elf in the wheelchair, Duke.
Oh, right, yes.
And you didn't have much chance to schmooze with him because you were acting, like a servant.
In an official capacity.
In an official capacity. Sorry, yes. You were acting in official capacity. But you guys do know... Excuse me.
That's
you do know... it's Clementis. Someone's talking about him and he's sneezing in his chair. You do know that he's on the list.
Great. So I will casually approach.
Okay. Well, you've kind of done the recon, right? Once.
Yeah.
Did you want to reconvene with Varth and give him a hand with O'Kara and then have you guys group up and
Oh, that makes sense.
Because
so
you
found
guys
out what was going on with Winston.
Yeah. Not to be heavy-handed, but you guys, it is a DM's duty after like fail. It's like,
sure,
guys, party up and like group onto them, and you do a little better than
So yeah, I'll head back to the conversation Winston is having, Gilder Varth is having with Baron O'Kara.
Okay, so you walk in, they're mid-conversation. O'Kara's like, so, Lord Varth, if I converted to the religion of Sarenway, not only would I get a foreign land tax break because of the current tariff situation that we're not at war, I could also double down on excuse me, hello. Just kind of...
Well, yes, you would enjoy the non-tax status of all church members in foreign countries of second sons of third diplomats. But yes, anyway, Bartholomew.
If you were to buy land in Kadira, you're selling, right? Anyway, he politely stops talking because Winston shows up looking important, like he wants to talk to you. So, sorry, your guy's here.
So I ride up and...
Forgive the interruption, lords. I bring word. Our companion Leon has been summoned away by the head of his family.
Now, we've kind of played through this, and I remember, kind of having some initial concern, but settling on the idea that if he needed us, he'd call us, right?
Right, because you got the pin. Did you ever get a pin? Did we ever get a pin back to Frank, or is he on the outs? No, Bartholomew gave up his pin. You've got a pin again, right?
Yeah, Fafal backslapped me with one, so I don't even know I have one.
No, that was Bartholomew.
Yeah. So you gave your pin to Fafal. Fafal took one off of Lady Trant and gave it to Winston, who gave it to Barkley. And Bartholomew left, and knowing you're pinless, just gave his up. Put it on your cloak. You'll need this. Because everyone knows it's like an intercom, right? So,
yeah.
Right. So you did overhear that conversation. Winston's just kind of doing the follow-up. That's fine. Yep. So anyway, Baron is, not only have you seen to find where he sits with the primogeniture, you're this close to converting or maybe getting to buy some land in Kadira. Winston interrupts, and by the time you're done talking to Winston, someone comes and gets O'Kara, and he's like, "Excuse me, my lords," and he, wanders off to deal with something else.
Aw, I had a great dialogue to work on him too.
Oh, they're not doing bad.
All right, well, then, bye.
Well,
flipping the bird.
Yeah, rude cocks.
No, these guys are, they need 2 to 3 influence checks, and you guys are doing well enough. It's, going off. You're doing, succeeded or failed, but he's done.
All right, where's our next mark? I look around for an important person.
Okay.
If I may, Lord.
You there.
And
Yes.
I motion in the direction of the guy in the wheelchair.
Okay.
Oh, I don't believe we've spoken with him yet.
He's not here in the Senate.
room?
He's in
I
the
thought you
archives, right?
Oh, okay. So then I'll mention it.
Someone you may be interested in speaking with.
What was his name?
Duke Leonard Cementis.
Duke Cementis, yes.
I delivered a missive to him on behalf of our benefactor.
Centimus.
Duke Centimus. He's over in the archive if you'd care to join.
I'd be delighted. It seems the room has played itself out.
Righto.
And I start using myself and Barkley to kind of part the crowd to make a way so that Lord Varth doesn't have to deal with the throng.
Okay.
Sully my hands on these petty nobles.
Okay. A short time later, Winston, Varth, you guys enter the archive, start scanning. Fafal, you come back, scan the room, and no one's where you left them. Drinks in hand. but Baron Nicholas is not hard to spot because he's huge. He's talking to a different crowd, though.
Okay. Well, I told him I'd make him a drink. He wanted one, so I'll sway back up.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon my dearest Baron, but here are the drinks for you. I do greatly apologize it took so long.
Oh, excellent.
I had to find the right spices,
Anyway, he sips it. Oh, it's really good. Anyway, whoever he's talking to, he turns to you and says, "Would you mind?" Assuming the second drink is even though it's probably for Varth or whatever, he asks you, "Would you mind if you would give up that drink to whoever he's talking to?" Assuming it's the same mix. Frank, you're on camera, by the way. I'm recording this and it's on Twitch. I don't think Lord Varth would be... You get this feeling from across the way that Varth would be displeased if you didn't get this awesome drink that O'Kara went about.
That's why I have 3, Jeff. It was originally going to be O'Kara, Varth, and myself. But, of course not. I've one extra here, please.
Okay.
And I'll hand it off to who Baron O'Kara is talking to.
Okay. So, hanging off him a bit, maybe, waiting, looking around the room. You don't see Lord Varth, but there she is. Across the room, the light, the vision, the cleric of Zimbari almost got away. You literally see him step away, like with an idea, like, oh, get that type of thing. And she just kind of, the hand, doesn't even take her eyes off of who they're talking to. This ironclad hand comes down on his shoulder. And you see the man wince in pain. And she turns him around. He's smiling again. Of course, comes
Always
back in.
smiling.
Yes.
Oh, I do love a strong woman, one that takes charge. Oh. Well, I guess I do have an extra drink.
And Lord Varth did abandon you to this room. I'm sure he'd want
That's
you to
true.
hold it down, maybe. So, what do you want to do? Track down Varth and the drink, or?
I will swagger over.
All right. Perception check, guys.
Oh, should I make a stealth check?
No.
I'm going to make a stealth check. Sneak up behind her.
The last time, you said swagger. Go on now.
A stealthy swagger, come
How do
on.
you stealthily swagger? Only you can see your swagger? How does that work exactly? A stealthy
Exactly.
swagger, just for myself.
Perception
You
of
gotta
8.
have the confidence, Jeff.
Oh, God.
Wicked one.
All right. Last time I had Fafal closing, you weren't here, Aiden, and I got to play you, and I had this joke where she sees you, but she's looking for Zimbari. She'd lost him, and it was that radar effect of like 30 feet, blue man closing, and you were going to come and suck up to her, and
Yeah.
you're looking for your target, and then finally it's like the missile lock, it's too late, so she just decided to turn to you, and then actually use you to help.
Right.
And I did an okay impression of you. I don't think it was that bad. So anyway, now, this time, Rob, Zimbari spots, Fafal sort of, whoop, popping up with one group, and then just going down between them and then popping up closer with another group, just amongst them, and then disappears, like sinks down and just, you don't even see him moving in the open spaces between these groups. He just, with these guys, 20 feet, with these guys, 15 feet, and then just like he was to the south of you. And you're watching him 10 feet away with a group, and he just deeks behind someone and appears 180 behind you on the north side between Jalissa and Kaibo, drink in hand, and just pops up and says,
A drink for the lovely lady.
Oh my.
she jumps back, one hand going to the hilt of her sword,
And here we go again. Nothing for Zubari.
Oh, I am sorry, Zubari. Look, there are a lot of people, and they like to get very drunk.
Zubari understands.
I had 10 glasses. I was trying to hold them all for everybody that needed them. But some people are just so greedy.
how did you hold 10 glasses without a tray? And he points at like some servant. This is Kaibo.
Well, it is an art. Trust me. My good man, if you would like me to teach you, I can. It is all about the forearms, really.
Oh.
You're able to have a steady upper body. You can balance at least 12 to 14 glasses, depending on the thickness and length of your forearms.
Oh no! I'm so sorry. Is that something I'm supposed to do here or know here in the nobility?
No, my good man. This is something that I learned back when I was sailing the 7 seas. Wait, how many seas are there in Galarian, Jeff?
I think this is 4.
4.
On the 4 seas.
I don't know either. I'm a hick from some backwater. I've never left Taldor. It's my first time in the city. How many seas are there? 4.
What's the sea?
What's a sea? I've never seen the sea. There's more than one? Anyway,
Yes, well,
you can see how this plays out. Anyway, this ladies and gentlemen, this continues. Okay, but I will. Not that I really enjoy going on with Aiden. We have had lots of episodes. Yeah, no, it's just I kind of did that too on purpose, but I didn't mean to stall the action. So, meanwhile, now we see how this is playing out. Meanwhile, back in the archives, you guys spot Cementus, and it's 2-on-1, no 3-on-1 because you guys forgot to wrangle in Fafal. He's probably drinking with O'Kara and selling land for you. There's the man, Lord Varth, speaking with some librarians and some nobles that are interested in the archives, historian types, or anybody else that could just wander through here going, oh, these are the official archives. This is nice, Duke Leonard Cementus, knowledge nobility, gentlemen. What do we know about this guy?
Ready then? Let's Let's take a stab. See what we know.
Have a stab.
Have a stab. 22.
Yes. Put on some weight. Was known as a bit of a rake and a ladies' man in his half-elven youth. Riding accident put him in this chair. And since you broke 20, I'll even go to say that you would, I'm not saying no, but it would guess it's like, as much as he seems to be showing off his chair to somebody, it's rude, or just, if you play the odds, asking him about the accident is probably not going to get you anywhere with this guy.
Okay.
Now, since he is a rider, he probably loves the doors. So besides the initial bluffing, diplomacy, intimidate, one of those three may work, maybe more than one. Having a knowledge of the outdoors and those skills that relate might get you somewhere with this guy.
I'm going to actually see, let's see. I'm going to try to name drop just a little bit. It's not completely untrue.
Okay. So you roll up on this guy. No?
Wow, Jeff.
No, I stroll up onto the guy. So it's Duke. Count Dooku.
Look at my name.
Count Dooku?
The mini's right in front of you. I have a shield bonus. My name is so long. Look at this.
You can't see it.
I can't see it.
Oh, you can't. Oh, that's right. I have to. Sorry,
It's a blank token.
I forgot to you guys. I have to. Oh crap! I've got to enable his. Crap.
You've got to be the enabler.
Yeah.
So it's what was his name now?
Duke Leonard Cementus.
Duke Cementus. I'll say as I walk up to him.
Okay.
Kind of extend my hand, see if he'll shake it.
Ah, he actually does recognize you. The first noble to actually succeed very well on a nobility check, to actually know you. Like knowing your family is one thing with a high, like a 17 to 20, but I pretty much need a natural 20 to know the second son, blah blah, Blackwater Creek. Type of thing. But he's like, yes, young Lord Varth, how are you this evening?
I'm quite well, thank you for asking. What a pleasant surprise to find you here tonight.
A surprise. I give myself a 1 in 6 chance. I'm using the same accent I did several episodes ago, but we're just going to go with it.
I've had an opportunity to kind of test the political temperature of the crowd, so to speak. It seems the primogeniture is quite the buzz this time.
Okay, he raises his eyebrow. You get to the point.
Lord Okra's talking about primogeniture, and I was wondering how you might throw in. I myself think that it might be a wise idea, but who knows? I'm still quite new to the area, and I obviously would fall to your guidance.
Have a sense motive, please.
Absolutely.
Judging his reaction to, although politely, pretty much blatantly, just go, let's have all cards on the table. It's getting late.
let's throw down.
Let's just
25.
Okay.
25 cents.
He does seem to be a little taken aback by your direct approach. And he kind of wades through it emotionally, but he doesn't seem offended so much as just kind of like, okay, this guy doesn't screw around. Well, anyway, placing a finger along his nose and a little squeak turning his wheelchair sideways, making him look dramatic as opposed to like striking a pose. He says, well, if I was a gambling man, he says, just to show my cards out of the gate or bluff about them wouldn't be my best play. I would want to see who's taking what stakes in the game all around the table. Not placing my bets according to the first guy on my right, if you know what I'm saying. Tell me, how have you run into... And he just starts naming people. And you're like, nope. I'm curious. What about and naming other people, and you're just like, nope, not on the list, sorry, but kind of thing. He's like, oh well. So anyway, but then it's like, there you have it. Who knows? Some of us are waiting. I suppose when the ballots are counted, you'll see if my vote is swayed for the good or the ill of primogeniture. Anyway, he's being polite, but he's kind of like, I'm not telling you. Having a little fun with it.
All
right. Anyway, Winston.
Arr.
Knowledgeability from you? I think we did this before, but...
Maybe I know more now.
Yeah.
You're more worldly now.
5. Nope.
Yep. Definitely a shut-in. Hates the outdoors. Just, he's obviously here. He's a book guy. Look, he's here in the archive. I mean, I'm pretty sure books fell on him. Like he was climbing a stack, and that's how he ended up in a chair. It's, probably logically.
horrible.
Yeah. A
archive
horrible
accident.
library accident. Yeah, librarian got lost in his own library once. Yep, pretty sure. Anyway, so did you care to take a stab or assist?
Want me to stab him?
Have a go at
So mean.
pulling pulling something out of the sky or helping. Helping. Now, there's always the tried and true. Bluffing, diplomacy, and intimidate always is like if you're playing the odds, 1 to 3 of those always can push a guy. Some have no effect, but you know what I mean? Like every target we've had has 1 or 2 of those 3 go-to social skills in their list of influence. Because you can lie to somebody, you can diplomatize. That's why we have our diplomancer here. I
will attempt some diplomatizing myself.
Okay.
Diplomacy of 20, and I'll basically kind of go over the spiel that Duke Okra, or what was the name?
Oh, put your own spin on what he was going on about?
Kind, like how he was going on about how the turmoil it could cause, and that's how he might be against it. And I'll say, that's that was
Duke Okra's thought on it, but I can't help but think the opposite. Not having a clear heir, we'd be throwing the country into turmoil while nobles fight over their share of the crown.
So not leaning on Fafal's spin, but kind of like taking Clementis Okra's part of the conversation and concerns and going, I see how, someone like Okra would be concerned about this, and this, but here's my spin on.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Yeah, okay. He looks at Varth, confused for a moment, that the halfling on a wolf is just throwing down in this conversation.
Oh, he's a very respectable. Yes.
Do you introduce him?
You know what? I do.
He knew you, but he didn't say.
Yeah.
I'll see his confusion. Actually, I'll save the introduction from Varth. I'll see his confusion and be like,
"Oh, forgive me, my lord, for speaking so plainly. I did not have a chance to introduce yourself when I last visited you in a more official capacity. I am Sir Barkley of the Order of the Paw."
And you didn't have a chance to introduce me, and you're the wolf. Can I have that again?
Or Sir, did I say Sir Barkley?
You said, yes, I didn't get a chance to introduce you. I'm Sir Barkley. Obviously, there's something in those crab cake. Those crab cakes have got a little hurt.
I apologize, sir. I apologize. I was up at 6 o'clock this morning. It's been a very long day.
That's okay. That was great.
Sorry.
Forgive me, my lord. I did not introduce myself properly. I am Sir Winston of the Paw.
Sir Winston.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Okay. He takes it in, but he looks to Varth for verification because a halfling that has the title of Sir is, you know what I mean?
Oh yes, I'll vouch for him. And
Okay.
basically run through the spiel again, saying that trying to figure out where people lie and stuff like that,
Okay.
but do it very smoothly and diplomatically, using diplomacy if at all possible.
So if you clear up and verify Winston's position, then I will grant him a success from that diplomacy. And now you, did we get something from you earlier as well, or did you just? No. Okay,
I haven't done anything.
Okay, so yeah, have at him.
Okay. Oh, the map's moving.
Now I've been holding back. Holding back.
24 diplomacy.
24. Beating something by 5 in this game, not by 10, usually allows with diplomacy check. I believe there's that extra oomph. And you beat it by 9. So I'm pretty sure you have not spent. Have you spent that +1 that we got from Ashley Parsquello back in the day, or no? I can't remember.
I have, yeah.
Okay. Well, I know Doug's points are strictly Star Wars.
Now the question is, have I spent mine?
Have you spent yours? Yeah, but you're not there. If you were in the room with them, I kind of let it slide. But yeah. All right. So
that's fine. I mean, just one more round of interaction. I can,
Yeah.
try
No.
again.
Not that you failed. I was going to see if we could double down, like get a twofer out of this roll, because it's something that you've been set up for, right? But no, you're doing okay. So close, doing well.
So close.
Doing well. I was just hoping you guys just don't walk up and just diplomatize, like walk him around a bit. The guy's an outdoorsman. Do we have any knowledge skills that reflect that? The outdoorsy skills.
Nope. Nope. I'm
Our
everybody.
alchemist.
I actually do have outdoorsy skills.
Do you? You want to have a go? Okay.
So that'd be like a survival check.
Maybe. There's geography, nature, and survival, or if the guy's an
Knowledge,
outdoorsman.
nature, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Busted out there. 13.
Okay. Use it in a sentence. So, have you got out much? Looking at his chair. Have you seen the... Your knowledge is correct, but it doesn't seem to be strong enough in your subject matter that you've influenced him positively. Not negatively, but not positively. What else you boys got? Anything else? I mean, if you guys want to double dip diplomacy, I don't see why not. I was just curious if there's... And I wouldn't say, Varth, you should start lying or anything. I just...
Oh, no. I mean, I'm just a second level Cavalier. Diplomacy is about all I got. So that's what I'm using on everybody.
No, that's fine.
16 on the second attempt.
Okay.
Words are starting to sound a little overused.
So what you're saying is this late in the game, you're starting to read people as opposed to reading their cards, because you play the people. You don't play your hand. You play the people. And you're telling me primogeniture is, it's where it's at. And you know what? I can't disagree, he says.
Interesting of you to take so bold a stance. I happen to agree with you. And,
I believe that any person is capable of rule, regardless of the condition of his or her body, making it because of his chair. Because if he stood against primogeniture, stood with primogeniture, standing against women, you know what I mean? It's also like, how could he rise anymore because of certain setbacks,
Nope. Yeah. And I'll totally kind of bolster and reinforce his opinions and say that there are several other lords that feel quite similarly, but have not yet taken such a bold step as yourself.
Yes. Let us ride, squeak, 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 on the wheels together and look to possibly, abolish primogeniture altogether. And we'll see you next time on Dice Before Dishonor. Say goodnight, Zubari.
Good night, Zubari.
Still with me, sugar.